My name is Kishore. I'm from Tech Affinity working as a team lead. And let me know you can see my screen when you see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for providing me the opportunity to share our experience with the fellow developers. So, let me go to the Workflow Max app. So first of all, I will explain what is Workflow Max app, and then I will explain the problem and the solution we given to that problem. So we have built a marketplace app few years back, this Workflow Max app few years back, and it was used by more than 29 customers. And uh, so we used a initial API version of Workflow Max API to develop this app. So let me quickly walk through the what app does. So this is a Workflow Max app when the customer installs the app, and this is how it looks in the Freshdesk. So they could able to log the time entries from Freshdesk to Workflow Max. So Workflow Max is a tool which helps the customer to, to get the invoices and to generate the invoices and track the time entries. So from Freshdesk, they could log the time entries to Workflow Max tool. So this is how it looks like. So they could either use the log to Workflow Max option or sync existing time entry to the Workflow Max option. So when they click on the log time entry, uh, they could able to choose the client staff, which is these properties are related to the Workflow Max. So they could choose this task and enter the time entry. So when they enter the time entries, it will both logged into Workflow Max as well as in the Freshdesk. And also we will keep track of both Workflow Max time entry ID and the time entry inside the Freshdesk using the data store. So we will keep the mapping between the time entry and the Workflow Max ID inside the data store. So, so when the user clicks on sync time entries, so there are some use cases where the agent might have added the time entries in Freshdesk. They want to sync those time entries with the Workflow Max app. They could use this feature. So by simply clicking on the sync button, it will get synced with the Workflow Max as well. So you could see the buttons here. So it is already synced. It is a Freshdesk logo and the Workflow Max app logo. So here it's only the Freshdesk logo. So it is not at sync. They could sync it. So if they want to edit any time entries, they could click on edit and edit the time entries they will need. So this is how it looks in the Workflow Max side. So uh, once they log the time entries from Freshdesk, it will come like this. So that's all about the Workflow Max app. So as I mentioned, it's a kind of app which allows the agent to track the time entries between Freshdesk and Workflow Max app. So the issue here is the Workflow Max team as going to, they are deprecating the V1 version, which we used to develop the app. So we have to switch it to the V3 API version. So for doing that, we need to change the ID that we are using to map between the time entries, Freshdesk time entries, and the Workflow Max time entries to UDID. So this is the problem statement we have. So we have to change the ID to UDID without affecting the existing functionality with zero downtime. So we should not allow any downtime for any of the customers. So the challenges we add is so the migration. So as I said earlier, so we should not affect any existing functionality while doing this migration. That is one of the challenge. Another challenge is we have the limitations of data store calls and scheduler event execution time and shorter time frame to migrate the data, because we had only a shorter time frame. So so it is already been deprecated while I'm talking. So it's November 30, they are deprecating the V1 version. So we have to do it in a shorter time frame. We have to migrate all the data from the existing customers to the new UAD. That is one of the major challenge. And another challenge, as I said earlier, zero downtime. So customers should not face any downtime while doing the migration. They should not feel as it is happening. So let me go through the challenges uh, uh, a little bit deeper. So we did a due diligence. Thanks for Pranesh. He had get us all the data. So how many customers are using this app and what kind of volume they are using. So he has given those data. So the so some of the customers had 30,000 tickets to 50,000 tickets. So imagine the time entries those tickets have. A single ticket might have many time entries. So we have to migrate the time entries, not the tickets. So we have that kind of volume there. So for example, if you take a certain customer, there are approximately 229,000 time entries. So in order to migrate those time entries, we might need 547 hours using the scheduler event. By default, the scheduler event timeout is 20 seconds. So using that 20 seconds, we could do it. It will take 547 hours. So if we increase the scheduler time, scheduler method execution time to 2 minutes, we could do it in 92 hours. So that is one of the requests we made to Freshworks. So also we need to increase the database calls as well from 50 RPM to 2000 RPM. So that is the request we made to the Freshworks team, and they did it as we requested. Also, I said we have to do it before November 30 as the API is going to deprecate. Also, we need to provide the newer version of app which supports the V3 version. We have to do this before November 30, all this migration and also newer version of app. So the solution we gave here is, so we already have IDs saved in the database. So the Workflow Max also provided an API which uses the existing IDs. Also, it gives us the UDID. So they say it is a transition mode. We have to use the existing API URL with the query param transition mode. So if we give that, so we will get the if we send a Workflow Max existing numeric ID to that API, we will get the UDID as well. So we have to save that UDID before migrating it to the V3 version, since V3 version supports only UDID, not the ID. So what we did here is, so let me show the graph flowchart. Sorry. So we initially develop. I mean, I will tell the core logic here. So we allowed the. I mean, we developed the app, and once the customer installs it, so we will create a schedule. So from the settings page, initially it is not from the settings page, it is from the ticket details page. So once the customer updated this app and the customer goes to this ticket details page, from there we will be triggering a scheduler. I mean, from there we will trigger a SMI call to create a schedule. Scheduler method, I mean schedule, which runs every 5 minutes. And also we had a challenge like so as I said earlier, the customer should not face any downtime. We chose to run this schedule between customers night time, like non-working hours, from 12 p.m. to morning 7 a.m. So uh, we kind of got their time zone and time from the ticket details page and calculated with the server time and made the adjustment there, and ran this scheduler according to it, so that it will run from 11:59 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the customer's time zone, and it will stop there from 7 a.m. and it will schedule for next day sorry, the same day 11 p.m. 11:59 p.m. So that is how the schedule creation worked. So what it actually does, when the scheduler runs, it will fetch the time entries. I mean, the customer's time entries, all the time entries. We have a time entries API call, list API call. We will fetch those time entries and we will run through each time entry, and we will check whether this for this time entry, whether we have a corresponding workflow max ID or not in the DB. Once it is found, we will fetch the corresponding UID ID from the workflow max using the API, and we will save that UID ID again in the same database. I mean again to the same key, the same time entry key, along with the ID, so that we could use this UDID when we migrate, I mean, when we uh, develop a newer version which supports the V3 app. So also we have to keep track of the time entries and the page count, because the time entries might be more than 30 or 100. So we have to keep track of those time entries, so that whenever scheduler methods, say for example the scheduler execution time is 20 seconds, after 20 seconds we should not run into creating, I mean, running the loop again from the same number, I mean from the same first record. So we had to keep track of those time entries. So from where we left, we have to pick it from there. So just like the page count as well. So this will I mean circle through, and once all the time entries are processed, we will delete the schedule. We will delete the recurring schedule, so that the migration will be completed and it's ready for using the newer version of. So this is our solution we have provided and we have implemented. Of course, we have faced some hiccups in the implementation. After implementing, we have some issues there. So as I said, the scheduler event triggered from the ticket page. So we had a suggestions and we had some discussions with the Freshdesk team, and they have suggested that we have to switch the SMA trigger method from ticket details page to the iParam page, because whenever the agent goes to the ticket details page, it always triggers the SMI method. So that will reach the SMI method limit. So that is one of the change that we made to the iParam page. So whenever the customer goes to the iParam page, it will trigger an SMI method. From there, it will create the schedule. So if the schedule is already there, it won't create. If it is not there, it will create a schedule and it will run accordingly. So also there is no, initially we have not planned any, we have to show any migration status in the app. So that will be helpful for us to know whether this migration has been completed or not. We had it, but it's not a user friendly way. So another change we made it, we switched that migration status to the iParam page. So it will show whether the migration is in progress or not yet started or it is completed, so that it will be helpful for us to know whether that customer data has been migrated or not. Also, one more challenge we faced is, as I said earlier, we used time entries list API call to fetch the time entries, but we might run into the endless loop where, say for example, Freshdesk domain has a lot of agents who are daily logging the time entries. Then we have to loop in through all the time entries. So, but what we did here is, while implementing this migration, we taken care of the new entries. So for the new entries, we will add the UDIDs to the data store. So what we did is, at the time of installation, so from that time, we have to fetch the time entries. So we use the executed before filter in the time entries list API to skip the newer time entries. Also, for some of the customers, the auto update is not possible, because say for example, our app had 5 versions of update to the existing public app. Say the latest version is fifth version, but the customer is still on the third or second version. So they could not, if we provide an app as like an auto update, it will not get auto updated for those customers who are on the older version. They have to be in the newer version. So if I'm going to publish a sixth version of it, the customer should be on the fifth version to get the auto update. But it is not the case for all the customers. Only 2 customers had that latest version, and that is also a difficult part. But Pranesh did a good job, and he reached the customers, and he manually made the customers to update the app to do the migration. So this is the iParam page where we are showing the migration status. It's not that much fancy, but it's a simple, which is also powerful. We will get to know the status of the migration. So now the app has been installed in almost all the customer accounts, and the migration of data has been successful for all the customers. And we also developed the new app, and it's also been published in the marketplace. And special thanks to the Freshdesk team. I mean, for the coordination, Pranesh for coordination and assistance, and for Raghu and KTP for providing the suggestions and recommendations, for Sai for helping us to find the issues, and he had provided the logs. I mean, each and every time we will bug him and we will ask him for the logs, and he will send us the logs whenever he sees any unusual. Any unusual logs there. And also we explained him clearly about this increasing the time limit, I mean the execution limit and the rate limits, and he did it for us, and thanks to Narayan as well.